Hello and welcome to my unboxing and first look at the Tyranid Exocrine, and I will unbox it straight away. One of these will cost you £44. It's a fair bit of money. It's the same as the Exocrine, and here it is in this box. They've only just become available again. Sucks really that they had them out of stock for quite some time. They've still got some stocking issues with the Hive Guard, and they've only recently had the Carnifex back in stock. So I thought that was because they were repackaging them and things, but no, this is the same box as the one before it because it has the horror specs on the front of it. So I think they were just really out of stock. Let's unbox this. Do not adjust your set. This is not November. We're not in November yet, but I thought I'd continue with all the releases. I say all the releases, you know, I'm building up the Tyranid army, so, you know, this is just one of those, another big creature, monster to put in the force. I'm not going to make this horror specs. I've never been a huge fan of the look of it. To be honest, I think there's just too much going on, and that claw type thing looks quite basic. It would have been nice if they had it with a Space Marine attached to it or something like that, or an Imperial Guardsman, or I don't know. I mean, maybe then everybody's would look like it's grabbing the same model or unit, but hey, you know, if they put a Terminator on under the foot of the Maleceptor or Exocrine, then why not for this one? But either way, I'm not a huge fan of the horror specs, what it looks like. It's quite a beast in close combat and stuff. So the one I'm going to go for is this Exocrine. Fun little bit of scientific knowledge is that Exocrine, it does exist in sort of real life. It's not a made-up name. Games Workshop have just grabbed that name and used it to call this creature. It's Exocrine glands. They are glands that produce and secrete substances onto an epithelial surface by way of a duct. There's some examples such as sweat glands, salivary, mammary, ceruminous, don't know what they are, lacrimal, sebaceous and mucus. So all those glands are forms of exocrine, and I think actually tear ducts as well, I want to say. And obviously the human body has two types of glands. One is the exocrine and the other is the endocrine. So you've got exo and endo. And endo are the ones that secrete the products directly into the bloodstream. However, the liver and pancreas are both exocrine and endocrine because they secrete the products such as bile and pancreatic juice into the gastrointestinal tract, and also they secrete other substances into the bloodstream. So there you go. You've learned a little bit of science today. I'm going to be making the Exocrine model. It's pretty much, that is the creature. The creature is the gun, and then it's just got this little creature below that it tells to sort of move into position. But it's basically a big plasma cannon that has a lot of shots, put it in sort of gaming terms. So let's have a look. 2 sprues, kind of thought it would be a lot of empty space in that box, a lot. You know, it's probably like half packed. And yeah, like the Exocrine, I do think it's overpriced. You know, you're paying what, £22 each for the sprue. I think that's a fair bit of money. Like with other Xenos races, if you play anything other than sort of Space Marines, but even Space Marines are expensive. If you play anything other than Space Marines though, you've always been at the receiving end of paying more for, you know, less, and that's just because they make less of these. You know, this is no way near as popular as sort of any of the Imperial sort of armies and things. But still, enough moaning aside. So you get the sort of oval base. You get this instruction book, which is 4 years ago. So you can already, you know, instruction booklets have moved on so much in just a short 4 years. They're now colour. They're just way better. They've got the rules in, like proper rules. They've got a painting guide. So yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult to put the Exocrine together. I've wanted one for a long time. Even when they were smaller models, actually. Were they smaller models? Or am I thinking of a Biovore? I can't remember. I'll have to sort of look it up whether Exocrines existed before. But horror specs looks quite good there, but I'm definitely going to go for the Exocrine. Might get horror specs at some point in the distant future. Let's have a look at the sprues. So this one here looks like you get the body, you know, the back carapace, the main cannon, some claws there, part of the horospex, another part of the cannon, some more claws, some sinewy. This is like part of the kind of grasping hooks, grasping talons of the horospex. And here you get this chode of the tail, similar to the Toxocrine and the Malaceptor. You get this chubby little tail on the end, these big claws, some more like firm, stable legs, I want to say, or forearms, to keep this big gun stable. And then you get the different heads. So they are the horospex heads, 50-50 each, and then obviously that is the Exocrine's head as well. And then you've got some chimneys here as part of the carapace, and then you've got the legs. Looks quite a straightforward model to build, very similar to the Toxocrine and Malaceptor. Just from looking at it, I'd probably say it's got less parts, but it's obviously the same price, but does something completely different. The Malaceptor and Toxocrine have more specialised roles. You've got a psychic one and pretty much a poisonous one. The Toxocrine is more suited in sort of close combat and dealing out all those mortal wounds. The Malaceptor is more to do with its amazing invulnerable save and dishing out all those psychic powers, whereas these two, the horospex, is pretty good in close combat, although you're best off dropping it down in a sort of Tyrannocyte. Exocrine is more suited to sort of long range. When I say long range, I think they used to be 24 inches, but they're now 36 inches, which is fantastic. So the same sort of range as your plasma cannons and things. In a long range battle, I'd always go for the Tyrannofex, always. Just because you get an extra 12 inches, which can make all the difference. And that's a bigger strength weapon, it's strength 10. Whereas this one can't move and fire, although if he does stay still, he can fire twice. So he's getting 12 shots. I think they're like strength 7 or 8. I want to say strength 8 though. We'll have a look at the rules from the new Tyranid Codex in the review. So that's just my unboxing and first look at this, well, what's going to be the Tyranid Exocrine. I hope you've enjoyed all the Tyranid videos that I've released over the past sort of couple of months. Everything from Nidvember, which was throughout most of November, most of December, and now a fair bit into January as well. So I hope you're enjoying all the content. Stay tuned for the review coming soon. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. For the Norn Queen.